Uh, you're absolutely right that there's a lot of anxiety about AI, and how unsurprising when, the headlines and all of the news is constantly focused on the incredible changes that are going to happen, the massive displacement and so on. But it's also just about deploying better digitization, full stop. And we know that businesses have struggled to use some of the latest software tools and to make sure that they are really using everything that's available, whether it's great financial accounting software or great HR software. That doesn't have to be the latest, whizziest generative AI. So there's lots of things happening in the process of digitization. And I would argue that now we are actually at a point where AI tools are becoming much more easy to use in your business. It was London Tech Week last week. I'm sure you reported it. Thousands of people descending on our capital to talk about the future of technology. So many examples of businesses that can help startups, scale-ups, all kinds of businesses do functions in a different way. But it's hard, and it's really hard if you don't feel like you have the skills in your business.
And Martha, I want to get into whether businesses are willing to spend the money on uptraining or skilling people to use AI down the track. And we keep hearing that this is a consumer-led revolution around generative AI, but I'm still yet to know a whole heap of consumers who actually use Gen AI today. So it does feel as though there will be a skill set gap. What are businesses saying to you about the willingness to train those employees so they can deploy AI?
Well, I think if you put the context that we've just been talking about against the investment in and the skills gap, it makes sense, doesn't it? Businesses we know are not investing as much because of the worries about the economy, rampant inflation, supply chain issues, all of the stuff you report on every day. So one of the first things that sadly gets cut is often those skills budget, the retraining budget, the upskilling budget, budgets in investment in people. And, I would argue, and I think others, that that is a mistake, and that your workforce is one of your strongest assets. So one of the things that BCC has been running, which really has worked well, and I urge any future government to continue with this work, is the local skills improvement plans, LSIPs, where we sit down with a network of businesses in the local area, a university, a school, a skills provider, and map out what businesses need and what that local area can provide. And it's really been effective, and we've got so much data to show that that kind of granular work, looking at a local level across sector, makes a massive difference. So it's understandable why businesses have cut skills budgets, but it's also really disappointing because obviously it doesn't help build for the longer term.
Martha, I'm outside Billingsgate. It's Arabile here, and I'm outside Billingsgate Fish Market. And just, since I am taking orders, if your cat would like any fish, please do send a note on that one. But just on the side, though, we've we'll get that order through then. But if we talk about just the skills sort of needed for these entities, particularly for the future, we've just spoken AI, we've spoken Brexit, for example, as well. But if we talk about skills for the future, a lot of these companies sort of future-proof themselves by saying these are the skills we need in order for us to grow. Does that not make them too rigid in order to accept the kind of opportunities, the kind of job opportunities that come through in the future?
I mean, you're absolutely right that one of the things, and I think it's one of the biggest shifts, you mentioned the late 90s, which I can just about remember in my old brain, but one of the biggest shifts from then to now, I think, is that what is really important in your workforce is an ability to be adaptable and flexible and learn new skills on the job. When I started in work, and I'm sorry to say, probably many of you, your career path was probably a bit more set, and it's just not the case